Yash.
Hi,
Welcome
Namrata.
to my first podcast. I am excited to have you.
Glad to be here also. Yeah.
I know Yash from college. He was with me. He also did BBA.
Finance.
Yes, market. So, can you introduce yourself for my audience? 10 people. It's a humble audience.
It's okay. It's 10,000 soon. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah! Manifest Yash.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hi guys. I'm Yash. I'm from Bhopal, and I came to Bombay to study or to go to college. So I went to NIMS. I did BBA in finance, and yeah, after that, post graduation, after my graduation, I started working at Kroll as a portfolio valuations analyst.
Portfolio
Portfolio.
valuation analyst. I have made a mistake which we're going to ignore.
Yeah.
Yes, so what exactly do you do? Like, what is your work?
That's a very good question. A lot of people who work in the industry will also ask themselves that a lot of you getting.
Ask you this one question. Does anyone know in any company what's going on?
Yeah, yes, and no. So, okay, I'll tell you, it depends on the level you are in the company, okay? Sometimes when you are at a very low level, L1, level 1, level 2, most people don't realize that, while some people really do. But as in when you go up, the smaller things stop mattering as much. Once you get into a managerial level, it's more like, okay, I need to look at this also. Once multiple departments I'm looking at, and it doesn't matter what one department's one investment is doing, for them it's a very macro thing. So coming to what I do, in very simple words, portfolio valuations is there are multiple investment funds, big investment funds. There could be a VC fund, there could be a startup fund, there could be a proper investment fund also. What happens is once a fund has made an investment in a private company, they come to me for quarterly or semi-annual or annual valuation, as they want to know what the fair value of that company today would be. And fair value is basically what happens, or is basically if you wanted to go out and sell this company today, what amount of money would you get? That's what fair value is. So once an investment is made, funds come to me. It's always post investment. A lot of people think that it's pre investment also. They come to me for advisory. They don't do that. It's only post investment when after a certain amount of time, they're also legally required by their limited partners, the ones people who have invested in that fund, that you need a very respectable, independent third party valuations company to value their investments. So yeah, this is what we do.
So if some shark invests in Shark Tank and they come to you after 1 year saying, was this a smart decision? Will you be able to help them out?
Yeah, we don't opine on whether it was a good investment or not. We mostly opine on what the value is. Now, whether it's a good investment, we all know whether it's a good investment or a bad investment looking at the value, but we don't really put it in our report saying, okay, you made a bad decision. Yeah.
That's not. You have to keep the
Yeah,
money coming
exactly.
in. Day in your life, what would that look like?
Depends. So my work, a lot of it is quarterly also. So we have heavy months of, let's say, March and April, because 31st March is the quarter end. So March, April. Some of it spills over to June, May also, but otherwise, so March, April. Then you have June, July. Then you have September, October, and that way it's December, January. Quarter four, which is December ending, it's very tough for us, but more or less. And then we have, obviously, out of these, if you remove these 8 months, 4 months we have a little downtime where we're not working at full throttle. But if you think about a regular day at my company or somebody who's doing portfolio valuations, you get up, you log in, or you reach your office, that's fine. But you usually have a very set task that, okay, you know what, you need to get this done. And because our turnarounds are very quick, if a fund comes to me, even the regular clients, their process starts within the next 15 20 days. They need to get all their 30 35 investments valued by us. We have a very set time, and it's not as if I'm just working on one fund at a time, I'm working on multiple funds at a time. So I have to manage my time accordingly. So let's say if I'm okay, I can't name those funds legally
Let's say
required.
XYZ.
Yeah, let's just say XYZ fund comes in today. Today probably I have to, 2 days after they come to me, I have to get on a call with them with my set of questions about how the company is performing, or if I have any particular questions about the macro environment or specifically about the company. I do that, but at the same time I could also be modeling another fund's investment out on Excel.
That sounds
So
like a lot.
yeah.
Oh.
So there are multiple. We have, we some investments, some funds are quite easy because we have set approach for them. But sometimes we get very really, some investments are very different. We have to go through the credit agreements, 300, 400 pages long. We don't go through all of it now entirely because we know where things are.
Yeah,
But yeah, sometimes you get very interesting and exciting investments, and you like to spend time on it. So yeah, and in terms of hours, if you think about it, it does. At least in okay, in my company, or if you look at other companies, and especially in this sector or in finance, there is a set login time. This is how I tell people, there is a set login time where 9, 9:30, 10, you know your managers expect you to log in, but there's no set log off time. I could be working from 9:30 in the morning to next day 6 a.m. also, and then I get back at 9:30. But of course, it's not as my manager expects me to be there. But yeah, that happens. Some days are that tough. I have pulled multiple all-nighters in the month of December because there were
Yes.
yeah. So and that's important and that's necessary. But at the same time, most of us really like doing it, so we don't really cry. I mean, obviously, everybody has a habit of crying about everything, no matter how good it is. But you still, once you like it, once you're used to it, you manage your time well. You don't need to you like doing it, so it's interesting and it's fun.
Yeah, but also I feel like what you said about the logout app, I
Yeah,
think it's a very India
it's a
problem.
very India
Yeah,
problem.
I
Yeah,
don't think this happens everywhere, especially in the more
yeah.
developed countries. They're very strict about the timings. So,
I disagree there because I work with a lot of people who are in the US
yeah.
and not just New York, San Francisco also. So they're two exactly different time zones they're working in. Some people in Hong Kong also. So people think that they have a set log off time and they do that, but in our industry, and I feel in finance again, it's you see those Instagram videos where it's my log off time. If you want me to
Yes.
stay more, you
Yes.
either pay me more and
Yes.
all that. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know that.
you can't do that. It's only it looks good on Instagram. It never really happens. So yeah, I've seen there have been times when an MD in the US, he or she at 12 or 2 a.m. her time is talking to me. So it's late for her also and early for me also. But we're on a call, we're discussing, and I can't help it, she can't help it because at the end of the day, everybody's getting paid. So you need to do that. So yeah, there's
Yeah, but I also want to know more about the finance culture, the finance bro culture that I see on Instagram. Can you just tell me? I find it very inaccurate, especially for India. But I might be wrong because I have never seen it firsthand. So I want to know from you.
So those finance bro reels that we see on Instagram, no, a lot of them are accurate, but obviously when you
I did not know
so
that.
I'll say the way they're accurate. I mean, obviously a lot of things that they show, they're very US specific, or they're probably not India specific. But in India, you have the same things, but a different proportion or in a different way. I mean, the same amount of drinking happens over here also when required
Oh
post
my
office.
god.
Everybody has their corporate cards. You go out, you spend money, and that's the only way companies retain people also. There have been times where I've known that people have spent 1.5 lakh, 2 lakhs in an office party, and yeah, that happens.
I
And
mean, there's so much money, I don't think that makes a dent also, right?
yeah, for the company it does
Yeah.
not, but at the same time, just because they have so much extra money to do all this does not mean they pay us more. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a way that employees or companies retain their employees. Again, it does not happen in a lot of companies. There are a lot of companies where they don't have this party culture or going out culture at all. But my company and a few other companies, they like to follow this practice. It's a good way for the team to bond also.
Yeah, and I think it's high time because the generation that's coming to work here
Yeah,
is very different. You
very.
need I don't know about you, but I think recently people have been stopped they're becoming less scared of their managers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great
That,
thing, right?
it is a great thing, but again, I come from an old school of thought where it is obviously a great thing, and
So mobile. That's that. But continue.
yeah, and I believe ki mental health days are also important, and I remember my senior just recently. I was very frustrated. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to work anymore. I'm quitting, or at most I'd be like, कि कल नहीं करूँगा or something like that. And I said, yeah, take a day off. It's fine if you don't. I'm like, if I take a day off today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll anyways have to come back and do what was due today, tomorrow, and what's due on that day. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's one perspective we don't understand.
Yeah. So that then being scared of managers, yeah, that I would say we're less scared of managers. I mean, if I look at my dad's time and when he was working, I mean, they had their kind of set respect. It's not as if we don't respect as much as they did towards their bosses, but yeah, I would say we're more open and we can say we're like, you know what, fuck you, abhi nahi ho raha ye, or you need to, yeah, you need to put a check. You need to keep a check and see if this is not happening, then you need to change your ways. Yeah. So that's
Also, it's an interesting way. Like I was really attracted to marketing? Because see, I see you as a very good fit for a marketing person. You're very outgoing. I think you're creative and you're quite comfortable throwing your ideas out there and speaking and mingling. But what attracted you to a finance degree and a job?
Okay, so fun fact, till 10th I was a very pro engineering or a science person. I was like, you know what,
Ooh.
that's the only thing I want to
Okay,
do.
I
And
would have never
yeah.
guessed that.
And but it could also be mostly because of Big Bang Theory. Okay, I could have, I don't want to accept it, but maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I really want to go towards pure sciences. But then when my dad was like, if you want to do sciences or if you want to pursue something in science or you want to be an engineer, you have to prepare and do the whole IIT drama.
Oh yeah.
I like ये नहीं होगा मुझसे. That's just because
Yeah, we've seen the idiots. You
yeah,
know how
we,
it
we
is.
like ninth में I tried going to this Fitji coaching. I'm not sure if it's
Yeah,
popular in Bombay, but yeah.
yes, yes.
So I did that and I was like, not really, not my thing. Let's not do this. And then suddenly one day my dad comes home and we have to, you know how we have to select subjects for 11th
Yeah,
grade.
yeah.
So we have to email our principal, okay, no, this is what I'm choosing and all that. So my dad's like, okay, you know, here's the check for Fitji. You can go and pay it tomorrow. And because that day was luckily it was a bank holiday. He's like, आज तो नहीं होगा, कुछ DD या सब कुछ issue था. Then he's like, okay, then why not commerce? Like, I have no answer for this. Okay, let's do commerce. And then I really started liking the teaching of even business studies. Multiple schools or different boards have different names for that, but okay, it's very interesting, and this is something that my dad has also done. He really likes. He's a CA, so I've seen him, the way he talks about businesses, the way his understanding is. Like, this is very interesting, and I really loved it, and also the whole Instagram culture. I mean, you have a perception, no, about Wall Street investment bankers. Like, that's a good vibe. I don't want to
It's a
give
very
up.
fair reason
Yeah,
to be attracted to
exactly.
that. Yeah.
It sounds superficial, but ऐसे तो everything is superficial only, no?
Yeah.
So people see Harvey Specter, they want to become
Yeah.
lawyers. I had that small feel, but I can't learn so much stuff. Yeah, one of my relatives is a lawyer. He has books and books of just law, not even novels. Like, yeah, it's not my thing.
See, I want to be a
Yeah.
detective. I am not
You
even
are.
joking.
Yeah,
I
so
have a letter from my teacher telling me how I can be a detective in 10th grade.
you're good. You'll be a good detective.
I am a detective. I'm not understand. Give me a name, I'll find it.
Yeah, that's detective stalking. That's all the same thing. But
Exactly.
yeah, I prefer LinkedIn for stalking nowadays. It's much
Hey,
better.
same,
Yeah, I
thanks.
know.
You can see the face and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
And you can see
exactly.
when you're
Where are they
working.
working? That's very important. I mean, I don't want to stalk somebody who's just ऐसा कोई भी कहीं पे भी is there working. So
What
don't want to
is
know.
the average salary?
Yeah. Okay, so portfolio valuations, don't, because it's a relatively niche industry, and especially in India, very few companies are very popular for doing so. So, but it's a wide range. People can earn from 4 lakhs, also 4.5 lakhs, and some lucky people earn as their base salary. Also, they earn around 12, 13 lakhs.
That's six figures.
Yeah, plus they have their 40-50% annual bonus, but it's a very specific company and very specific. They hire also very specific people. So, but at the same time, yeah, you end up earning 5-6 lakhs as a fresh graduate in most cases in this industry, which
That's
is
good.
quite good
Compared
compared
to
to
other
yeah,
freshers. Yeah, and
yeah.
you would say it's highly selective also.
It's highly selective.
Yes, so if you want to get this job to stand out, you can't.
More, yes, and also at the same time they do look at the kind of college you're coming from. It's not very important that you need to be there, because there are people who have done their MBA also and are just one level above me, and then we're just graduates and my MS kids who are earning. So
No, it does count
yeah,
in every job. I asked my managers what was that thing. They say it gives you more credibility.
exactly.
If anything else,
Yeah.
I mean, you've gotten into a highly selective college, and you sat in the placements, and then got to a highly selective place. You got it through placements.
Yeah, I got it through placements.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But there are people who can get in other ways.
Yeah, off campus, a lot of people join and they earn. Sometimes they end up earning more also, because campus hiring is at a slightly lesser package.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any special perks or advantages?
Of
Like, I'll give an example.
Yeah.
My friends work at media.net and they have a free gym in their building.
uh, oh, that way is we have a few, quite, I would say quite a few.
See?
It's
That's
it's
the
just
good
whether you have the time to use it or not, or use stuff.
Can
So
you give us some
yeah,
examples?
so we have free cult membership for a good amount of time, and
Crazy.
once that expires, cult specifically, uh, we have access to, I think in Bombay at least 100 120 partner gyms where you
Okay.
don't need a membership, you just book a time slot, you go, you scan, and you're there. We have free medical consultation also, paid by the company or the insurance company, whatever. We have free therapy sessions also, but you don't have the time to use it, so it's fine. Never. There was one time when I was like, you know what, let me try. It's free. What's the harm? I was scrolling through. I was looking at who's the prettiest therapist, and and with the maximum experience. Don't follow this advice. Then it's a very company specific thing. If some companies offer reimbursements for some tech stuff. There are few things necessary. So I know for a fact that some of my friends were in JP Morgan. They got like 80, 90K reimbursement. They could buy whatever electronics they want. So
Wow.
my friend bought a Mac. And in my case, there were, or in other companies, they offer like 30K for stuff you need at your for a work from home setup. My table, chair, earphones. A lot of people bought AirPods also, who are local. Who don't need table chair. Then they have basic finance stuff. Some companies, a lot of finance companies offer their phones,
Hmm.
or they give you an option. Okay, you buy whatever phone you want, and we'll reimburse you for a certain amount. So that's basic. Those are basic perks. A lot of finance companies and these companies, they have a tendency of going out, like I think I mentioned. So yeah, that's basic.
And has your work given you an opportunity to travel, or maybe in the future if you will
So
travel
in the
for work?
future, a lot of finance companies, I would say, but specifically my work, there is a lot of scope where you can go and talk to or you can go to different offices in different countries. The only thing is nowadays US visas are
Yeah.
a huge problem,
Yes.
but they want to send people in a lot of companies, and they send them to New York offices, or San Francisco or
That's
Hong
the
Kong, or
Wall Street
yeah, that's the Wall Street
experience.
experience.
So you have gotten what you were aiming for.
Yeah.
Um, yes, so other than that, what would you say about work life balance? Personally, I want your take on this. Is it possible, and does finance allow?
It is. I don't have it because I feel I'm not as efficient. But as in when you get more efficient, no, I've seen people who are very regular at 6, 7. No matter how late they're working, they'll go to the gym,
Hmm.
they'll do their workout, and then they'll log in, they'll start working, they log off. I know a colleague of mine I really look up to. My level joined with me in college. There are days when I'm working till let's say 12, 2, 3. It's not that he doesn't work that late, but on most days, he's so efficient that he logs off at 7, 8. He doesn't stay as late in the office. I enjoy staying in the office. There are always people, so I don't even mind staying that late. But yeah, there are people who are that efficient and they have a work-life balance, and it happens.
And good international
Good
exposure, right?
international
Like you
exposure.
speak to people at
Oh
high
yeah.
positions in different countries.
So most of the clients, my clients, they're global clients.
Hmm.
So you speak to them on a fairly regular basis. My MD is also most of them. After my director, then the next person I need to speak to is probably an MD in the New York office or in the Chicago office. So initially you're very scared, but after a point when you realize how good and important this is, you're like, you know what, you're not even scared. Like, let's just, let's get on a call, we'll discuss it. And they're so receptive out there, or they're okay with your thoughts. It's not as if they say to analyst, don't speak and all that. They're there, they listen to your thoughts, and when they actually incorporate your thoughts, no, realizing there have been times when they're like, okay, you know what, you're right, I was wrong. Let's go with your methodology. That's when you feel, you know what, you're in a good place. It's not a toxic environment, and you're learning also as and when you go. So that's something very important.
I mean, kudos to you are giving such good
Ha,
suggestions.
I mean
It's great.
that
Everyone can't do that.
yeah.
Yes.
I think people who really like it know or are into it, like I said, there was this time, I hope nobody from my family watches this, but I was coming back from Lollapalooza,
Okay.
and I was fairly drunk out of my mind because I really wanted to. We had a good amount but and I had this particular investment going on, can't go in the details, but uh, I was really thinking about it because it's something that a lot of people had not done in my office,
Okay.
like entirely in my office. Like people had not even heard the terms of that investment, or the way it was. On my way back in the train, we're all sitting, we're all talking, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, you know what? Let me I have to present this or I have to get this thing done. I'll do it this way. I got on a call with my reviewer, same level. I was explaining to her, okay, you know what, this is what my thought is. She's like, it's very complicated, but it's the most accurate way. You sure want to do it? Then we got my director on call. We explained him. He got two other advisors on call. You know what, this is what we're thinking. Do you think you agree? Then we got our MD on call. You know what, this is because I was so into it and I was so they gave their suggestion. I was like, nah, this is the correct way. Let's do it this way only. It's my problem if I need to spend more time, but this is the best way. We sent it to the client also. The client also agreed, no, this is exactly accurate. Then everybody was happy, and that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's very good to take an initiative.
yeah, it is. So that's what I'm saying. If you really, but at the same time, if somebody who's not into it or is just doing it for the sake of it, there are people who are like, okay, you know what, मेरे से तो थोड़ा बना ही नहीं, मैंने दिमाग नहीं लगाया, अभी 2 days the project's getting delayed, your funds, clients after your director's mind. It's all about how dedicated or how interesting you find. The amount of in our office, or not inside the office, but when we go out and if we're drunk, and not just me, but everybody, the amount of finance conversations that we
Sorry, what the hell did you clarify it like that?
yeah, I mean, no, because people do, not in my, again, not in my office, but people do go to their offices drunk. I have heard instances where they're drunk. I know people who have small quarters of alcohol where they
Don't do this.
don't ever do that.
What advice is this man?
So that's what I'm saying. Don't do it. Some people have it. You shouldn't have it, or I don't have it. But where they have fixed desks, no, they get very drunk. But anyways, point being, uh, I'm working in an environment, and that's the case. I feel with a lot of finance companies in India or in Bombay nowadays, where people really like it, are so enthusiastic about it, that even when drunk, even when out, even when partying, if somebody raises a finance conversation, no, we'll have it so enthusiastically. We're like, everybody shouting, nahi, this is not how we should do it, we should do it this way. Then somebody will give in their perspective, you know what, no, 2 years ago I had done something like this, and this is how we executed it, we should do it this way. I find it so, again, a lot of people don't like it, but I feel like it gives a sense of, I know it's not, I won't call it a sense of purpose, but something like, you know what, this is, we're doing good stuff, and you know, it sounds crazy, and if a third person, not a part of the group, is listening to it, they're probably getting very impressed. So I'm like,
No,
might
I'm
as well.
very
Yeah.
impressed listening to an account of it.
Yeah.
That's great. I envy your love for your job. I could not experience this anywhere I went. So
That's why you have your own setup now.
yeah, now I work for myself. I hate my boss. Anyways, so I wanted to ask you. It's okay if you don't want to answer. It's a personal question. But did you face any failures? Were you rejected from any job, any position before you got here? Because I think that it's a big part of who
It
you
is,
are
it
today.
is.
So
Yeah, but okay, it's always you've heard there's this Steve Jobs speech very popular when from back when he was alive. After he was dead, he not gave a lot of good speeches. But sorry, I really don't know the kind of audience this goes to. His speech said, and I always feel it's very accurate. You can always connect the dots backwards. Okay, so now looking back, I love the fact that I got rejected from those other jobs. But talking specifically about failure, I never applied off campus because our college campus, they had good companies
for
coming in.
finance
Finance.
only.
No, but
You
even
have
in
to work
finance,
for
there were
some-
good 2.5, 3 lakh jobs also where they would just make people do cold calling in sales.
Dude, there was one CFO offer. I don't remember.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you saw it.
that was crazy. That was
Like, what the hell?
But yeah, so I think this one's okay for me. D Shaw rejected me. Now it's one of the highest paying jobs for an undergrad. And I saw my friends get into it, which kind of made it worse. Like, it's not that I hate them, but you know, you're thinking, okay, you know what, you also applied,
Yeah.
you wish you got in. And I got rejected, and that day I was like, I told my mom, it was during COVID, so I'm just going for a drive, don't ask what, why, I'm just going, I'll come back in a bit. And so that happened. Then, you know, Barclays and a few other companies. Turns out their roles, not a lot of people really like it, even though they're higher paying. So that makes me feel better, and I'm good. Yeah,
But I
good.
think
Yeah.
in the longer run, even if you get a high paying job now, you hate what you do, you're not
There's no
reaping
point.
anything out of it.
And more than hate, there are people who have great work-life balances and they're earning also good money. But that's right now. It's very important in finance, or I feel everywhere, to see the kind of trajectory that it could lead to.
Definitely.
After 3-4 years, your initial base package will not matter as much. Take cumulatively, let's say in 3 years he's earned a friend has earned 36 lakhs, let's say 12 lakhs per annum, and somebody, me hypothetically, let's say has earned 18 lakhs, 20 lakhs, whatever. After a point of time, the kind of opportunities or the kind of jumps that I can expect are much better.
So exponentially.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
grow exponentially. It's not an
Yeah.
arithmetic thing. So yeah, that's what companies do come, companies do reject, and it does feel bad also. But at the same time, look at where you are right now, and if you're in a good position, if you're in a good position, then everything went well only.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. He's here and he's liking what he's doing. That's actually
Yeah.
really rare. If you
Touch wood. I
consider,
just hope tomorrow I
yes,
don't start hating and
yes, no,
like,
no, no, nazar
yeah.
band. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Any tips for our viewers for getting a finance job or just getting a good job, like for them to differentiate between
Yeah.
what's good for them and what's not so good for them?
Okay. So I just started working. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
feel I'm one of those who can give a lot of tips or should be giving a lot of tips.
No, so that's what we're
Yeah.
saying. You've worked less than a year and you are the
Yeah.
perfect person to give tips because those people have become so successful. They're giving tips
After, yeah.
which
fair.
are not very relevant.
They're not
The
relevant
tips
at
you
all.
will give will
Yeah.
be very relevant to these people.
There are few things. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do. It's more than okay. Like a lot of people say, oh, I have a vision, have 10 streams of income, have all this passive income, do business, also do this also. It's fine if you don't start. You should start at some point. But abhi, it's fine. Take it slow. You don't need to have everything urgently.
Yeah, and because the media makes us
Ca-
feel like
feel
you're not
exactly
doing
you're not
anything.
doing anything.
Yeah, I
They're like,
know.
if you don't, if you're not invested in this, if you're not doing
Yeah,
this,
no
you're
crypto. Yeah, you
yeah,
don't
you
know
have no
anything.
future.
Thank you so much for coming today. This is from creativity
Buy their stuff,
to
guys.
give of appreciation.
You guys don't get it, I get it.
Yes, we will do the unboxing in some time. But just let's
Yes.
finish with a last tip you want to give.
Yeah. One tip, everybody hates me for this tip, but I always stand by it. Attend college, attend lectures. It's very important. People find it very cool to bunk lectures. I'm like, even the worst lectures, worst subjects you hate, no, you will end up learning something and you will pick up something from those lectures which will for sure help you. Even non-finance lectures, some days I've used that knowledge, even though I hated the teacher, the content, काम आता है. Go to college and plus you've already paid your fees and stuff also. Might as well just attend it.
And it helps you just be smarter in general.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your teachers like you.
Yeah.
You get into universities, they recommend you. So this just benefits
It's
to them.
there are a lot of benefits. So you always attend college, always attend lectures. I
Yeah.
find it very
And
important.
is my audience allowed to reach out to you on LinkedIn if they want to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
personal conversation?
Yeah.
I'll put his LinkedIn in the bio so you all can read it in the
Please.
description. Sorry. Thank you, Yash, for coming. I'll give you a hug later. This is just professional. Yes, and now